Ora, sejam muito bem-vindos ao nosso Free Podcast. Hoje nós vamos falar sobre o poder da mente, ou seja, sobre as doenças da mente ou o que é que nós podemos alcançar quando temos o controle da nossa mente. Mas nós hoje vamos fazer isto em inglês, porque a nossa convidada é de expressão inglesa, portanto só poderá ser em inglês. Hi everyone, welcome to our free podcast. Today we're going to speak about the power of mind, the things we can achieve when we have control of our mind. And to help us understand this topic, we have our special guest here. She is an entrepreneur, a visionary business leader, empowering coach and consulting, and she's also a CEO of the best global business with more, or actually almost 20 years of experience on the fields. Hi, Magdalena.
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for this nice introduction.
Okay. So, Magdalena, we will talk about the power of mind.
Yes.
And I want you to help us, to understand what can we achieve by having the control of our mind. I don't know what you can tell us about it before we dive deep.
Well,
yeah,
I believe that really mindset, our mind, that's like a fundament of everything in our life. This is where everything starts, So whatever action we take and whatever result we have in our life first come from our beliefs and what we are thinking, what we are believing about ourselves and every important topic in our life. Okay. So basically, when you really think about it, this is where this is the beginning spot. Then based on your thoughts, the emotions come. Mm-hmm. From emotions, you take action. And then you have the result in your life. So exactly. That's really in short.
Okay, I have quick information about your work here. And it says, as a mindset and business coach with deep dedication, you empower individuals to unlock their full potential and achieve success in both personal and professional realms. Your focus is on guiding others to embrace change, confront their fears, and cultivate unwavering self-belief. Okay, how do you combine the spiritual side and the business side? You said something about that here.
Yeah, well, I believe that we don't need to really separate the spiritual connection or our inner world from the business. I experienced that there's a lot of these messages up there that people focusing on the business and the success and grow the business, and then put on the side the whole spiritual part, or very much in the spiritual part, but then they are not, going and putting this in connection with the business or the work they are doing. And I like to, through my own example, to show that actually once you start work on yourself internally and really start deeply reconnect with your soul, with your spiritual part, from that you start working on whatever, passion, business and work you have, that's a completely different result. This is when the things are flowing, So I like to combine that, and that's what I do in my work. It's very important for me to come from that place, whatever I do, whatever action I take.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this topic is related or somehow connected to mental illness?
What do you mean by...
I mean, the power of mind and mental illness. I'm talking about depression and anxiety. Do you think these two diseases are somehow connected to how we can control our mind?
Well, I think I would like us to talk more about mental health in general, because this is where, whether we are very stressful, whether we are depressed, whether we are burned out, whatever situation coming from the psychology point of view and the mental part, that's relate again to how we are with our mindset, ourself, and really leading to this self-love and acceptance. So this is like the bottom of everything. Mm-hmm. So the depression, the stress, the burnout, is almost the end result of what has been going under, with with us internally, right? What we believe and whether we have been having any kind of support and etc. So there's really lots of going on now in today's world. There's so much pressure, for the people to act in a certain way, to think in a certain way, to we have so much information from all over the places, how we should be, what we should do, and even the positive part, meaning the positive thinking, can be a bit of trap, because if you are in the place where it's very difficult for you to think positive, and maybe you have been struggling with many things, and maybe you are depressed, or you are stressed, or you are burnout, and then suddenly from all over the places you hear think positive, think positive, think positive. You're trying to achieve this, but then you are failing in a quote, right? It's very difficult for you. That's an actually more negative effect, because it's getting you more down, because you are even more criticizing yourself. So there's a different place that you need to start, and you have to be very smart of surrounding yourself also with the right information and people and the environment, but matching your individual case. That's what I will, say. So when I'm working with the people, helping them with whatever struggle they have, whether change they're going through, whether this is a very stressful situation they're facing, and whether this is on their personal life or business life, my favorite, I would say, part, and when I work, and what I love also the most, is to work individually, because I can really adjust and match whatever tools we have here to the individual person case, so yeah.
Yeah. Magdalena, I read an article saying that depression and anxiety are like the most, I don't know if I can say famous disease attacking young people, like this generation. Why do you think this is happening so much, given that we have a lot of tools and a lot of professions, to guide ourselves? Because in my point of view, people get depressed and anxious when they are lost and they don't know what to do of their lives.
Yeah.
So,
well, yes, when you look at today's world, I guess on one side, great, we have access to knowledge from all over the places,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And we can really, find so many different tools that can help us. But on another side, like I said, there's a huge pressure about who you should be, when you should be, how you should act, what you should, do, what kind of person you should be to be accepted and to be loved. So at the end of the day, we're coming back to the point of loving and accepting yourself for who you are. And I think that the very important piece to really let go and accept that you have your own individual journey. And there is no rules of how this journey of yours should look like.
Okay.
There are certain things that we are hearing that to achieve success, this is what you should do. To be happy, this is what you should do. That you have to have, family, a house, a business, money in this specific period of time. And then if people are really stuck in this and they believe if they are not going to achieve it, then that's create the stress, the pressure, the down, and young people having so much information from all over the places, being really hearing the stories, somebody achieved their success and become a millionaire by 22, another one by, 20, then 25, and then somebody by 30. Those are great examples, right?
Exactly.
On another side, we have people who achieve their first millions in 50s, 60s, 70s, right? But they're supposed to be an inspiration for us of what is possible. But the main point is to really look in yourself and start asking yourself, who am I? What I like, what is it that I want? Is this really something that it's important for me? And can I do it in a different way? Because maybe my journey will be different, and let go of the pressure that, the pressure comes from the environment, but at the end of the day, the pressure we are putting on ourselves because of the environment. So even we get to the point where we start to believe to the environment, putting the pressure on ourselves, and then this is where we're starting also to criticizing ourselves for not achieving the certain goals. And just to give you an example, because I'm I love running, right? This is something that it's part of my lifestyle. And I give this as an example in my story because today I just recently ran half marathon. But I actually, some time ago, I didn't like running. Like, I really didn't like it. And at some point I started to walk, and I started to try to run 1 kilometer and 2. And I remember the moment that I said, okay, I want to run more. And the moment when I was looking at everybody else and started to compare myself to those people, like I look at it, okay, somebody ran 5 kilometers, I have to start running 5 kilometers. And if I run only 2, I better don't share it, because it's like, I mean, that's very small, this is not a success. But I catch that. Because of all the work that I have been doing through all my life on myself, personal development, having different tools and managing my mindset, I actually catch those thoughts, seeing that I'm comparing myself to others. What is it doing? It's slowing me down, or I'm actually giving up, or keep trying, just only because I'm thinking that if I didn't achieve the 3, 4, or 5 kilometers now, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I'm a failure. So, but what is it doing? It's making me stop to do it all.
Exactly.
And that's what I catch. And I say, okay, you know what? Let me do it my way. I wanted to, let me just forget about everybody there else. It's great. This is an inspiration, but let me just listen to myself and see how I feel. Not giving up on it, because I really want to do it. It's great. This I knew. But let me try to find my pace in it without judgment, whether I will run, today 1 kilometer, 2, 3, or 5. And that's what makes a difference. It was something that really came to me that I went outside without putting a pressure on myself. That was the beginning, without putting any specific goals that today I run 5. I say, I will start from 1 kilometer and then I will see how I feel.
Step by step.
And then I will see how I feel. And if after 1 kilometer I feel I wanted to run another 2, I will do it. And so on. If not, I will not do it. I will also be good to myself and say fine. Today it was 2 and it was great.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I started to look at it, just me going outside and taking the step of trying as a success. So
and I think this example is applicable, or we can apply in every fields of our lives, because this is how we grow, how we develop as individuals. And I want to ask you, how did you find out that you have the skills to help other people to empower themselves? You have 20 years of experience. You're a young lady. So what made you go to work with this?
20 years of experience in really different fields. This is a combination of, the business, the work. I have been, working and growing. I think that I would say that the main point for me was over 10 years ago when I started to go very, very deep on my own personal journey. So I already had the knowledge, studied psychology, I had some business knowledge, and I have been working for other people. And, it was, there were some goals that I have been achieving. But I found myself over 10 years ago in a place that I started to feel that I feel there's something more there, I feel like, that there's just something was bothering me in my stomach, you kind of feel it, this feeling, today I can name it. It's your soul, your inner, callings over there, your full potential is there, and trying to let you know that, hey, there's much more here. So I start my personal development journey, and I went very, very deep into it. I was very committed, because that's actually what happened for me. My story was that at this point in my life, I asked for help. I reached out to a mentor, and there was really a point that changed for me everything. Till today, I'm so grateful to myself that I did it. Because until that time, I was more like, I can manage things myself, And coming from Poland, I come from Poland. There's also this, environment. Not only the pressure, but also, this opinion that if you're asking for help, you're weak. especially for the women.
Exactly.
So that was something for me, like growing in this environment, you have to manage things yourself. You don't show that you maybe need help, maybe you don't know what to do. That was my biggest thing, that I actually wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go. And I was beating myself for that. But then asking for help was also difficult.
Yeah.
So, but what happened, thinking that I will continue living my life without really finding now what is this feeling inside, and really truly start living from that place, from my, full potential, and discovering that. That was a bigger fear for me, that I will not do it, than asking for help and start working in whatever was there, for me to work on. Because I say to myself, like, if I continue exactly, like acting the same way as I was so far, well, I will more or less have the same life that I have, and I never discover what it's there, right? So what is stopping me? It's, I cannot find out myself what is actually stopping me. So I need to reach out for help. And I did. So just to, to say that's happened 10 years ago. And I started this journey on self-love and self-acceptance. And like I said, I went full in. And somewhere there, very fast, I think, once I started to see the result of my own work, I knew I wanted to help other people to do the same. Okay. It was like I discovered something amazing, and I was like, okay, I need to share it with others, and I need to help them also, to guide them to start their journey, so they can see that they can really live happy life, and and just be happy in whatever situation they are, and continuing on their journey, because that was the bottom.
And did you find your path, or you still?
Oh yeah, I did. Actually, I did, but that was interesting. I feel like that was one of the also pressure that I believe is there, that we like having this thought that we have to know now. You just need to know your path and your goal. And let's say you discover one, and then there's another pressure. It's like you're not supposed to change it. You have to stick to it.
Exactly.
And all my life, I think it's something that it's a very positive thing, that I have been a bit of rebel. I'm like, I always question, like, but what if I want to change? What if I don't feel it anymore? I don't want to stuck to it. And I really started to learn to listen to myself a lot. This is the whole part here, the journey, the mindset. It's really to manage the mindset, so you can listen to your inner, guides, and allow yourself to follow that, no matter whether this is matching the external environment,
Yeah.
So I find my path, and that's what I'm doing today, whether this is in business or in personal development, coaching, mentorship. I love help people to unlock their full potential. I love helping them to get over limiting beliefs, work on their fears, understand their emotions, go through the change, whatever change is there. And on top of it, because I have business experience, so I usually combine this with the, business consultation, looking at, if they come with the business or work, part. But we're always looking at the mindset behind and this part. So that's what I love to do, and that's what actually gives me energy.
I think we all have a little bit of insecurities, anxieties, and we sometimes in our life we feel a little bit lost somehow, because of the standards that society creates and somehow says that that's the right thing that we have to do. So do you think you just said you are a little bit rebel, but I wouldn't consider a person being rebel if they don't want to to fit or to be to take the society standards. At the end of the day, it's yourself, it's your life, it's your
That's
happiness.
True. Yeah.
So go for it. And some people, as you said, are afraid to go and ask for help. How do you identify your clients? Do they have to reach out to you, or you go for referrals? Other people refer people to you. How do you?
Yeah, well, the second that you just mentioned, that's happened a lot. There's a referral. Somebody say that like recommend working with me. I do inform people through my social media. I wouldn't say there's a lot of messages there when it's come to the coaching, and the mentorship. Now I'm working on bring a bit more on the social media to inform people that this is what I do, right? That I can help them. And there are everybody, whoever will for some reason feel that would like it to find out more, how is it to work with me, or whether I can help them in whatever topic they have, they're very welcome to contact me. Usually I have a short conversation with the people just to get to know each other, like a very short meeting, whether online or live, if possible. And then I can really see whether I can help and in which area and how. And for me, it's always a very important piece. And that was also for me a big part in my story. The person who decide to work with me need to feel that they wanted to work with me. There has to be an energy. They need to feel safe. And if not, then I'm not their person. I will never, try to convince someone that they have to. But I will definitely tell to everyone, if possible, to reach out for someone who can support them to go through whatever they're going through.
What tip would you give to people to seek for help? This mental illness, people don't really, as you said, people don't really like to seek for help because it's associated with craziness and all the negative things. Yeah. So what advice would you give to people to go and reach for help whenever they're feeling down and depressive? And
well, first of all, yes, say to yourself that I would like somebody to help me, and that's okay. That's the main piece. To just understand that if I will not talk to someone, I will continue being in the same place I am. And that's what I can say from my own story. When I reached out the mentor I was working with him, he actually told me about the fears that were running my life that I was not aware, and they were like influencing every areas of my life.
Exactly.
And I was searching for the answer somewhere else. So the moment I reach out and he started to talk to me, I say like, okay, oh my God, if that's the case, like, let me work on it. Can you help me to continue, to work on it? And that was a very important piece also. And this is to understand that whatever you are going through, if you are feeling that you're stuck in the place, that you're not moving and you're continuing the same stage, look for someone you can trust. And if you are afraid that maybe the environment would judge you, look for someone who is outside of this environment. Do not share with anyone. You don't need to share it with anyone. This is your private thing. But just go for it and start, the conversation and see it. And 100%, if you get there, if you are really with the right person, the process of getting, better and moving, it's faster, it saves you time, it saves you money. And suddenly, after a short period of time, you're asking yourself, like, why I was waiting so long? And whatever you're afraid of, it's not so scary anymore. This is also something that I say to people, like there is this hashtag I often use, change without fear. And what it's mean for me, it's mean that you can change without fear when you have someone supporting you in the journey. That's what was my case, because suddenly there's somebody else looking together with you on your fears or whatever story going on there. And that's already taking power away from it, because you have a different perspective. The person shows you like, look, but the situation look like this and like that. You have been looking all the time from that point. And you're like, it's not that scary anymore. I also compare this to the story of a child being afraid of a monster at night. There's a monster under the bed. And then until the grown-up person come, open the lights, look at under the bed, and the monster is not there, right? So it's kind of the same if you really think about it. We're just sitting there with our fears, limiting beliefs, in the, light is close our eyes, and we're like afraid. And that's it. We're not moving further. We're not looking into it. We don't know what we're afraid of. We don't know why we're feeling like this. What kind of emotion I'm facing. We're just, and we try to run away from it somehow, right? So or we wait till the morning, and then we're like, keep going with our life. Until there's somebody coming and actually opening the light to look at you, and you're like, oh my God, like this is not that scary. Because trust me, like really, all the cases I have been looking at the end of the day, they are not that scary.
Okay. Do you have, what is the age of your clients, like the age that people that look for your
There's no
services?
really, I wouldn't say that I'm like aiming for a specific age group, because I work with young people, but like, my previous clients, 60 something. So
No, I'm asking that
different.
because, as I said on the beginning, these problems, these internal issues that we are facing nowadays in this generation affects more younger people.
Young.
I think from teenager until 30ish something. So
Well, not necessary. I mean, of course, I love to work with young people, and they can always, reach me out. But interestingly, more clients that I'm working with are in the age from above 30.
so it means that people like above 30 who still didn't find their aim in life,
Of
their
course,
goals, their
many people.
Yeah.
And it's not even whether they found it or they didn't find, but they're like, they have been working maybe for many years to achieve something, and then they discover that they're still not feeling very happy. Or maybe they are beating themselves because they think that they should achieve more, but they didn't, or they're very different. Or they are like changing their work or their business, wanted to try something more, something new, and then they don't believe themselves that they could do it, or there's some self-doubts.
Do you think this has to do with traumas we have in our childhood, or if one area of our life is not really well, is affected somehow, and then kind of destroys the other. For example, if I have trauma in my childhood, I might not remember what it is, but it can be like a cancer in me. A cancer, when I say, is I don't mean the cancer, like a problem inside of me. And then this problem ruins my personal life, and as I grow older, it becomes even worse, making kind of ramifications, or doing other devastations in our areas in my life, like professional wise, social wise. Do you think these problems come with our childhood? From the childhood.
Yes, I would say that there are so many things actually that in our adults' life, if there is something that it's affecting us in a negative way, they have roots somewhere there in our past, and many things come from our childhood and the environment. And you really don't need to have like extreme hard childhood, but my journey, again, I went through a lot of looking back and discovering, and I just recently still discover some things from my past that I saw, that I took it, some beliefs that were not even mine, but because I was experiencing the story of it, and somebody who was close to me, their fears and their stories were passed to me. And suddenly I'm like, I don't know when, they become my own. And then in my adult life, I'm coming from that place with reaction on the things, right, that are happening in my life. And exactly like you say, there might be a fear of, let's say, fear of afraid to be rejected, right? So let's say that there's some story in our childhood that was very strong for us. We did something and, I don't know, somebody laughed at us, or, somebody told us something very negative, or we've been trying to get love and acceptance, but constantly have not been seeing there, we have been rejected, let's say, by our close, family, parents, right? And at some point, we started to believe that, oh, we have to do certain things, or whatever we're going to do, we will be rejected anyway, right? There's a different kind of beliefs can came from this story. So later in our adult's life, we act from this, you know, we like react from that place. Mm-hmm. So we like it to get into happy relationship, but we self-sabotage it, you know, in a way that because there is this behind beliefs all the time coming back, a fear, but this fear has nothing to do with the current situation. This fear, this belief comes from the past. And that's the whole work, you know, that once you understand it, that this is an old story and you can change it and you don't need to believe it anymore, and you look at yourself differently, you can let it go. So then it's not anymore running, you know, in your current life, and you can open for something new. So that's also the process that I do with my clients. And then there was also something that, you know, I had in my own path and my own stories. So kind of you learn to observe yourself and identify, okay, what am I feeling? Why I'm feeling like this? Where this is coming from? Because one very important thing to understand when it's come to working with the mindset is that your thoughts you are not your thoughts, basically. Now they like, and the beliefs, you can change them. Whatever belief you have about yourself or something else is just an opinion. You took it somewhere from somebody, somewhere. And you can change it if it's not serving you. But you really need to, like, you know, look at it from that point and be aware that that's the case, you know, that your thoughts, your beliefs, and whatever situation you have right now, it's not defining you. That's not you, right? And you can change this.
Yeah, this seems very simple as we speak, but it's very difficult to understand it when you are through it, when you are going through it. You know, because people are taking their lives, you know, because of these problems.
Yeah.
So that's really sad. That's very sad.
Well, yes, of course, and there are lots of helps when it comes to, you know, to depression or people who really need help here, and that's you know, something that if the person is feeling they should do. But again, when you say that it's difficult to implement, I will compare this once again to the running. You don't do it this overnight.
No, I don't mean it's difficult to implement, but it's difficult to discover, you know. It's difficult to discover that
by yourself. Yes, it is. So this is why
sometimes people just give up. That's why they take
But this is why I say that I believe that the most important piece is to really be able and to open yourself for asking for help if you are feeling that. And you don't need to be depressed, and you don't need to be like really in a very difficult, extreme situation. In general, having someone who is working on you, whether on your business, whether, you know, changing, you are moving cities and you go through a change, you are entering a relationship, you actually, not only that the cases where you fail, but let's say you actually achieve a success, and that's new for you. Mm-hmm. That will also cause you emotions, you know. So so talking to someone, it's always very, very helpful and huge piece.
Yeah, I'm looking through your mentorship program, and. Yes, you're talking about mentoring and coaching. So I want to know the difference between these two words, mentoring and coaching. What are the difference? Differences between these two words.
When you really look at the definition, coaching, typical coaching will be guiding a person through asking them the questions and like guiding them to discover the answer that they have in them, right, inside them. Which is really the bottom. Like, you know, we have all the answers, and then there's a coach who, through the questions, trying to guide you to dive deep and answer some questions that usually you wouldn't have asked yourself. Even you might not consider those questions, right? So it's a typical coaching if you really think about it. Mentorship, it's somebody who will be also mentor you by sharing their own stories as well. Mm-hmm. And I would say I use those two words because they also resonate differently with, you know, different people. But my work, the way I'm working, it's usually a combination of both. It's people who come to me, and ask whether for consultation or some kind of support, they usually they explain the situation or whatever topic they have, but they are also looking for me to share my stories and my experiences. So it's a conversation, and again, I match the process individually to the person. So I use those tools, combining them together.
Mm-hmm.
That's why usually my session, it's really, coaching, mentorship, and a consultation, because very often people reaching me out for asking also about some of their business, like I say, part, right? So,
yeah. Talking about business, let's say I want to develop a business. I want to create like something. But I don't know how and where to start. I have the funds, but I don't know what to do. Or, when we want to do business, we always are careful about the risky parts. The risk is part of the business, but we just kind of don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
So if I have funds and I want to develop a business, what kind of business would you advise me? And
well, again,
when I say me, it can be someone else.
Yeah, somebody else. Well, I would definitely have a discussion about the person, their passion. That will be the first thing. What they like, what is their experience so far, where they found themselves. That was the thing that was giving them the most, flow. Whether working for someone else or someone else. So we kind of look at the areas that the person is really, like strong, interested about, and passion about. I would start from that before I would look at what is there in the market that it's the most profitable business. Because I believe that if you have funds, then really look first at the area that might be interesting for you and matching whatever you are, feeling good about and you would like it to grow, and then match that to the market. Then otherwise, because then maybe you pick up an industry that, yes, it's great, but you don't feel it at all. It's not your thing. And I will always go to what is your thing, what you are feeling.
You go deeper.
And let's work on that. And let's work from that. Because if you have something that is giving you this energy, and then you have funds for it, and then you might be lacking of maybe some strategy or how to do it, then you just, you start working with a person to guiding you in that, in the strategy or whatever you need to learn to implement it. But you are working on something that, it's your thing, right? And yes, you look at the risk. And of course you look at, whatever project I start, I look at, details of planning the project, the budget, the risk, the finances, what I need. But the beginning, it's, am I feeling it?
Yeah.
Maybe really feeling it. And then, okay, what is it like? How is it matching the market? Is it, something I can also work with? Is it interesting for the people, for the customer, the clients, the needs on the market? True. But again, is this my thing,
So you wouldn't advise people to do things that are profitable, but they don't like it at all. They don't resonate with that at all.
Yeah, well, sooner or later, that this will be something that will affect you in a way that you will just start to feel less and less, energy, having less and less energy and not feeling good. So it depends. Again, you might have a situation that's what you need to do for some time, right? So then accept it. That's the main piece. That will be like, okay, so let's say you don't have those finances to start your business. So, but you would like it to change your life or whatever work you are now, because that's not really what you are passionate about. So give yourself some kind of, time or frame from the place, again, not criticizing yourself, but really accepting, okay, fine. So I'm going to continue for a while with this, job, whatever is there. And that's fine for me because this is where my finances come to help me cover my bills and etc. But on the side, I start to work on my business and passion and whatever I have there in mind that I would like it to do. Again, starting from 1 kilometer, not going half marathon.
Yes. you have organized prestigious events, business events such as the Poland Africa Business Forum and also the African Global Business Summit, which was here in Berlin.
Yes.
These conferences, were they? I mean, how was the outcome for you?
For the conference?
Yeah.
Well,
for both conferences, one was in Poland and another one in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the outcome, the main one that was the most important for me, was to see that the project really makes sense. And this is actually what people are also looking for. Mm-hmm. And this is what I am feeling as I would like it to continue to putting there. Every project have the challenges, that come with it, of course. Mm-hmm. But for me, I saw some vision some time ago. I saw the potential. I also look at the market, I analyze, and then I decided that I'm gonna, go for it. And really the most important part for me was to see the feedback of the people after, how they felt, what they got, whether this is what they're looking for, whether this is something that it's helping them. And it was there. It was definitely there. So that's really the main part. Obviously, there's, a whole, part of what the project gives, to people and those conferences. But for me, in order to continue, I needed to see that. Mm-hmm. It's like, with the coaching and mentorship that I do. Mm-hmm. If I see that I'm helping one person, and I see that this person life change, mm-hmm. that's a drive for me to continuing this.
Okay.
I'm not waiting for millions right away to be impacted by what I'm doing. But from this one, person or one project or, group of people, more people, whether in my coaching or in the project like this, when I'm seeing that the results that, people are getting, it's helping them to grow their business, to connect, to, become more successful, etc. That's my drive.
That's your success. Yeah.
That's my success. Of mm-hmm. course, there's, all the finances and there's, all the business part. But that's the thing we're gonna make me keep going regardless whether I'm facing challenges.
Exactly.
Because look, the same with the mindset and the same with our doubts or self-belief. Mm-hmm. This is not working in the way that, okay, you do a project, is successful, and every single one will be also successful, and everything will be successful, and there won't be challenges anymore because you did it once. Or you work on your mindset, and you started to believe yourself and love yourself, and then you'll never, ever have the moments of doubts and maybe being sad or something. No, that's not the case. Yeah. Just to make, very clear, that's the whole thing that, yes, we'll continue have down moments, right? Yeah. Doubting ourselves, feeling sad, and I don't know, angry,
exactly.
Having all of frustrated,
yeah.
Like feeling like, okay, that's it, I'm giving up.
Yeah.
But those will be moments, and because you'll have already tools of how to handling, and you will be also in a different place than mm-hmm. let's say years ago or some time ago. You'll just look at it differently, and they will not stop you.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, we are talking about frustration and negativity and being sad, etc. When you are, realizing your events and your work. I was going to ask you, but why? But then I remember, no, because she's a human being as well. She just have different tools to overcome it. So.
Yes, and you know what? I can see that. The more I work on myself,
yeah.
The projects I did, the one now in Berlin was very big. It was a big project.
Yes, so it's there.
Yes, but the thing is that if I didn't have some of the tools and I didn't went through the journey before with myself, some of the challenges that I face probably would have been very, very difficult for me to handle. Whatever challenges I am handling today, mm-hmm. I'm turning them into my strength. Doesn't mean it's happening in a, like in the moment I face the challenge, then, they're like this gone. So just to make also sure, because I think that's the whole,
yeah.
People are putting so much pressure on themselves that they have to handle things. So yes, that's the whole thing, that you will have challenges. We don't have control on the external situation. Mm-hmm. And we have faced this in 2020. Mm-hmm. And then what we also face
with the pandemic.
right,
Yeah.
and then also but people already forgot that what we have faced, you made it.
We made it.
Everybody, made it in a way through this situation that at the beginning seems like, oh my God, like we didn't know what will happen. For many people, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
And I have been also, I had...
And for other people was like opportunities
Yes.
to grow.
Yeah, of course. And in this specific time, the mindset, like I was really working there with a couple of people and also with myself that, to have a different approach, to really not allow fear take over, because it's always the choice between two main emotions. And I always talk about it. We have just really two emotions from which one we are coming in whatever action we are taking or our thoughts and etc. And whether it's love or fear. And emotions that are connected to them.
Yeah, it's the power of mind. At the end of the day, it's in our hands.
It's really the choice.
How we control our mind.
Yes.
Okay.
But then, you or whoever, you or me, being in the situation that is challenging and suddenly start to feel fear, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't criticizing because you are like now...
Don't punish yourself.
Don't, punish yourself. Don't criticize and don't, put yourself down that you are feeling it. You learn to observe yourself. This is the whole piece about managing the mindset. You learn to observe yourself to kind of catch that you are in the fear or coming from fear, so you can shift, you can understand it, and then you can, shift it, let go, and then come and connect again with love and come from love. So that's the process. So again, coming back to the business or the challenges or the projects, yes, they are there, for me too. I mean, sometimes I'm like, really, another one?
Yeah.
And then, okay, like what is the lesson here? There's all kind of things that you can do when you face challenges. But the most important part is to really understand, okay, there's an external situation happening.
Out
I
of
have
my
a
control.
choice how I will react on it, what I will think and what I will focus on. That's my choice, and this is where the power is.
Yeah. I think this is an exercise
And you
all
need
of
to practice.
us, we need to do.
You need to practice
yeah.
this. This is not coming like, in a one day or 1 week and 1 month.
Yes.
And then suddenly you are expecting that every single situation will catch it right away and, we'll like shift it and then we're good. And no, it's a the journey is like there all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Otherwise, life would be boring anyway. if everything was so good, so positive, no challenges at all, I don't think we would enjoy living like that. Anyways, going back to your business forums, I'm seeing here the titles of the forums. One was Poland Africa Business Forum, and the other one, African Global Business Summit. Yeah. You are focusing on Africa.
Yeah.
Why Africa?
Yeah,
I mean, do you know the continent? And
well, I would say that I know the continent in very, very little percentage still.
How many countries have you been to in Africa?
For now, only 6, 7.
Only? It's already a lot. No. I haven't been to this number of countries in Africa. I think I only know like 3.
Continent, it's huge. And
4.
It's like definitely I would love to visit more. Well, yes. Why Africa? Well, it's like I will have to go back a couple of years before.
Sorry again, which countries? I just want to see if I'm going to hear Angola. Which countries have
No,
been?
not Angola yet. But I have to say that it's for this year a target to visit. So
yeah, but which countries are there? I know Rwanda is on the list.
Yes, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Nigeria, South Africa. Well, there's also Egypt. Which else? Let me think. I think I'm missing one.
Anyways.
Yeah, well,
okay.
those are those are one that I'm now thinking of.
Yeah.
Morocco also.
Yeah.
So why Africa? It really resonates with me. I will come back to the past to just give you, a bit of story there.
Exactly.
So working in my business, and like I say, I love to connect people. I love to connect businesses. I love to basically do the match. I recognize the potential in people in the project. That's what I do. And there are some experiences I have from the past. Also working on the global market and connecting Polish companies, producer with the clients, big clients outside Poland, or some foreign big companies entering Polish market, and etc. So it was all about B2B businesses, connection. And I always like that. And at some point, I was invited a couple of years ago to a conference related to the African markets, a small conference really, and I was there sitting in the panel, one of the guest speakers, just to sharing my experience in business. I think it was like only 30, 40 people, but quite few came from the continent, from different countries, and they started to share their story. And on top of it, there were also people who have been doing something in the continent, and that was, if I remember correctly, 2015 or something, or 16. So I listen, and I listen, and as you know, having this gift already there, recognizing, the potential. So I get the knowledge, I get the really inspiring story, but the most important, I connect with the people, and I saw who are the people behind. And that also resonate with me a lot, because coming from Poland, I saw there's a similar, pieces there of people really wanting to change their life, looking for solution, looking for growth, wanting to make a difference, wanting to change, their country or develop, grow. They're like, this entrepreneurship mindset behind the people, with the passion, with the energy, what they are looking for and needing is, the connection, the environment, and some kind of, support, maybe partnership. But I saw a huge potential of the market, hearing from those people who are there in the business already, whether, small, medium, or large. And, me following my, inner callings, I felt it that I would like it to bring this more to people. And I really would like it to create a platform that will give people space to hear more of those stories. Because I already had my network in Europe and global, and still so many people were not even looking at the continent at all, they have been doing lots of different businesses all over.
And I don't know why, because,
But there's a certain branding and opinions, and there's certain news that are appearing all over, and most of the time they're negative.
Of course.
So when I went for the conference and I heard something else, I said like, okay, let's not forget about risk, but this is in every market you are entering. You're looking also at the situation, the risk.
Exactly.
But let me bring more of the positive stories to the people. The really practical part of the business people being there, and also show the people the drive that they wanted to work, they want to cooperate to others. And I believe that if I connect the right, people with a similar values and they will do the business, this is when we can really do make the difference, So so this it came from there, and I just say like, okay, let me create the first brand, let me do the project, and I did it. It was actually amazing one, and so many people came on board. So since then, I'm really on the project passion on making this even bigger and bring this to more people. Through the years, I grow my network. I'm also today in a different place when it comes to the people, investor, companies that I know from all over the world. And it's not just Poland. I mean, it's still Poland because it's my country. I have a great, connections there. I know so many people, and I still would love also even for the people from different African countries to understand what Poland has to offer and how you can cooperate. But my platform turned to the one that it's aiming global companies to basically hear about the continent in a different way.
To me, as an African, it's very important you, an European person, right? Trying to bring all these positive information about Africa to the Western world, because what we learn, what we know is is only the Western world tries always to portray or to show the negative parts of Africa only. This is something I'll never understand, because everything started in Africa, and Africa is not the future. Africa is rich in so many ways, like in human resources, and natural resources, and in potential.
Yeah.
It just, we just need the world to see, to learn and to open their eyes, to see the good things about Africa
the
as
other
well.
side,
So to me, it's really important, a non-African person, doing these connections with the continent. So
But you see, that's what you just mentioned here. This is exactly, when I'm talking about, the mindset and what is our focus on. And at the end of the day, when we look at the business, it depends what is our aim. We can put it up there, a positive for the people. They're going to see a different image and a different stories.
And this is already a success, just by the
you're
the fact of you
and you
thinking
focus
about
on something else. And like I say, it does not mean that you are not aware of the risk. Like, when I am choosing to focus on positive, it doesn't mean I'm not checking the risk or preparing myself, whether from business, side, or like I'm like a naive here. No. But I also saw the Poland and the history we went through, and I was living and growing in the small city at the border with the Germany, very close to Czech, and there was a time when there was like nothing, on the shelf except the Polish products. There was nothing, from the border were closed, and we have been going through, so many, struggles and problems, and there was like country was developing, and that was the period of time when the people who look for the potential, focus on the potential, look for the solution, connected with the right environment, maybe went abroad and they came back. That's how people, became also successful and build the country also later.
Exactly.
So I would like it to show that, and I would like it to kind of switch the focus, on
the mindset,
the
perspective,
and actually really it's a brand at the end. It is a brand at the end that somebody is looking and hearing all over places only about negative. So then when I'm talking to some serious business people and they don't know anyone from the continent. They never, went there maybe for holiday, but never look into business, get to know the people behind it.
Because the understanding about Africa is just like, it's just a place for holidays. It's just a paradise,
So they don't even consider, because the only thing related to the potential business they hear is risk. So what I like to bring, is to
clarify,
to listen to the people and listen to the real case, stories here, and look at it from a different side and then decide. So that's it's a bit of mission.
I know. We are going to the political side now.
I have great people supporting me from the continent and all over, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound naive as well by saying, hey, stop looking at the negative parts of our continent only and go see the other good things we have to offer. I know
again,
there are internal problems there, political and etc. But this is like everywhere in the world,
right?
Yeah, it's not only Africa.
This is what I say.
We need to stop thinking.
Yeah. Like focus
that way.
Get information. Like really get information.
And I believe Africa is the future. Later on in the future, Africa will be here. And everyone, seriously. Because it's already happening. It's already happening. It's already happening. And I'm really happy about that.
Definitely, yes.
So, how does it work? I mean, the process of gathering people from everywhere. You have in these conferences, you have industry leaders, decision makers, CEOs.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs worldwide, and also politicians.
Yes.
How long does it take for you to organize one of these?
The time.
Your business forums in general.
Well, the time can be really different. I would like it to have at least a couple of months to prepare.
Yeah.
But the first one was, I think I did it in less than 4 months, so that was a bit crazy. But this is when you like you don't overanalyze, and actually you discover when you don't overanalyze, the things are happening, the right people join, and you actually can do something that you were never thought that you can do. Mm-hmm. So that's an example here also of the mindset again. Like, okay, I'm doing it. That was my thing. I'm doing it.
Yeah. Regardless how.
Yes.
I don't care how it's going to
I don't know
happen.
yet how. I don't know. I don't have all the pieces.
But it will happen.
Right. I don't have yet all the pieces. Today, when when I'm, organizing the next, of course, I know what is needed, because when I look at the previous one, I already have lots of experience from A to Z to deliver, to do all. And I can make many things better. But yes, but that was the thing. And approaching people, I believe that it's a combination, first of all, of a different relationship that I built through my life, from the business. Again, relating to the mindset, I never had a mindset of thinking that I cannot approach someone. That I'm not in the place that I cannot do it, I shouldn't do it, or
That's
I'm
the
not
first
ready.
step.
And I think it's very big one, because for me, again, it's like, I would like to invite this and this person and this person hear about this platform, how I can do it or who can help me. So I'm asking the questions, how I can do it, who can help me, how to approach this person, but I'm never thinking of, can I? Or like maybe I shouldn't, or maybe it's not my place, or maybe I will never be able to talk to that person. I don't have this mindset.
Yeah, because if you set you back,
that will stop you right
it's
away.
already
Yes.
yeah.
And
turn off.
Yeah, like if you're going to put yourself in the position that you are not, I don't know, maybe in a place to talk to a CEO of the company or somebody important, or there's no way you can reach this person, then you will not even look to find a way. What can happen that you actually talk to 1, 2, 3 people, and then they will somehow make the connection, So that's the one thing. And it's also all about the brand and the vision and communicating this.
Exactly.
So that's the first piece, there. When whatever project I was doing, I was creating different brands and from from the scratch, and then implementing, introducing them to the market, not only the conferences. So the branding piece, how you present it, it's also a key, here. So there are many different elements that come to it, but when we're talking about what people hear and what people, follow, put the message there that you wanted to get people attention to, So
I
the
think
right
people
will
need also to resonate to that message.
Yes, yeah.
Otherwise,
So,
they won't buy it.
Of course. But for me, the project comes from my passion, and I believe that's again the piece that it's very strong. Because I am usually the person to talk about it, like individually with the key guests. So it comes from the place I'm fully involved and fully believe in the project, the mission, the vision behind it. Okay. And if I would have to say something, what sells the most? It's when you're coming from your authentic self. And really, this is when we discuss if I have my foundings and what business I will start. If you discover the one that you are whether passionate about, or this is something that gives you drive and you believe it, that's when you will be selling this, in a way.
Yeah.
In most effective way.
Yeah. I asked about the length, the period that it takes for you to organize these forums, because as we said on the beginning, the world is only used to see and hear negative things about Africa, and since Africa is your focus, I don't think it's easy for you to convince people to be, in this business. So
there are challenges.
It takes time. Because
yes.
you're gonna knock to one door. You don't wanna say the door. I mean, this first person gonna say, "Yeah, okay, you are welcome, and I'm willing to be part of this project." No, it doesn't work like that. No. You have to receive a lot of no's.
I do.
And then
and then you get to the yes.
How do you manage? I mean, this is very difficult. Yeah, as we said in the beginning, this is where the power of mind lies. Yeah?
Yes, that's true. But yeah, so for example, now I'm giving myself more time than obviously just this 4 months or the 3.5 months that I have for the first ones. The Africa Global Business Summit was almost a year preparation. Yeah. I'm planning already the next one. Not mentioning yet where. But I'm not sharing this yet officially. It will come soon. Maybe for the people who will be watching, it will be already there.
Yeah.
But as for now, I'm not sharing.
Secret is there is a saying, like the secret is something of the success. I don't know how is it said in
Maybe I'm
English.
keeping this as soon we'll be announcing, but
Yeah.
it's going to
The
be.
secret is the key of success.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, some things you keep it before you are ready to announce it, that's for sure.
exactly. Yeah.
And so I'm giving myself also a couple of months, maybe less than a year, because that's what I'm planning with the next one. So yes, of course, I hear no.
Is it about Africa as well? It's going to be about
Oh yes,
Africa?
it's going to be continuation of Africa Global Business,
Wow.
connecting summit, definitely yes.
Wow.
So that's my next step, and I see that more I also have, because I already have the history of doing it and people trusted me. So that's already something that I can refer to, obviously,
Sure.
So, and there are like amazing people who have been supporting me. And today they are sharing a very positive opinion about what they have experienced at my summit, right? And my work. And that's a huge value for me, right? So it's already they're making easy to approach maybe the next people I would like to invite, because I already have the story. But at the beginning, when I didn't have the story, where somebody had to trusted me at the beginning,
Yeah.
it was coming, I believe, really strongly from some of the network recommendation. It was always a bit piece of there, that somebody told me, okay, go talk to this person, and this person for some reason, even I didn't have experience, believed me. But again, if we're really like authentic and passionate, there will be people who will say yes. But we might need to talk to certain people before we hear it and find that person. Exactly. What I also learned in the project when approaching some key guests, so I hear no, but then I'm not giving up easily. That's one thing.
Yeah.
So some people notice that I'm like, keep coming back, and I'm like,
That's
keep
how
calling
you should
and keep
do,
calling.
yeah.
I was just recently, I talked to one of the company who I'm discussing to be part also of the summit. And this person even, said like, thank you for being persistent. And I finally have a meeting with them. And it's like, 3 or 4 months of keep talking, and like me sending messages. And also one of the investor who came for the Berlin summit, it took me, I think, 5 months to convince him. And I met him in Los Angeles,
Wow.
and we're in Los Angeles and talking there. And he's like, yeah, sounds great. But then, to actually reach him and continue. And he decided in the last moment, finally, but I never gave up.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But second, also, when you see that some people are like, no, and you have to spend so much time on convincing them, you might want to just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my energy to finding more other people.
Yes.
Because
from someone else.
Yeah, you also don't want it to stuck too much on some that you just see that, they might not be there yet. Fine. Continue doing your thing. I mean, there's so many people, so many companies, so many, potential clients that you can approach. That will be your kind of people and clients for that moment where you are right now. And they will say yes much more faster. So spend your time to try to find them.
Yeah.
And don't stuck too long on the one who say no, and definitely don't take no personally. Because that's just, the no can come from a place of, well, it's just, it's not matching the person, not having
Exactly.
time, there are thousands of reasons.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with you and whatever you are proposing.
Yeah. This is something we also need to take as key.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this explanation you gave, it implies to our own selves as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we are here talking about positive messages, but then you just said when you are reaching out to these people to be part of your project, you insist until a certain period of time. If then it's not working, you jump to someone else. And I think this is how we have to perceive ourselves as well in our own problems and situations. Of course, you have to be positive to realize something in your life. But if it's not working out, then switch your mind and try something else.
It's really,
right?
It's really about, like I say, don't take things personally. I know it's not an easy piece.
Yeah.
It's not an easy piece. It's again all about, our self-confidence, self-love,
It's all in
acceptance,
here.
and all that.
That's where the fight is.
But the thing
mind.
is, like, somebody saying no, whether in personal or professional life, like I say, has nothing to do with us. There are so many different reasons for that. And if we really approach this in that way, and maybe if this is an important person case, let's say in business, you hear no, you look at it, okay, maybe I could have done it differently and better, and you still wanted to continue doing it. But when you get to the point when you start to see that you are putting yourself or taking yourself down, lowering your value and your things just to only get this yes, that's a moment that you're like, okay, wait a second.
Then the cost is too high.
Yeah, then wait a second. Maybe there are other people who will actually, without, me going into this direction, they will know that, yes, I'm bringing the value here. Yes, as long as you believe that, you come from that place, you can let go of some of the cases that are taking too long, or you constantly hearing no. But again, I have cases, with the people who say no, and they later, after a couple of years, I started to do things with them. So you really never know. Again, don't take things personally. Follow, you need to continue believing yourself and the value you are bringing there. Modify it, adjust, maybe learn, maybe, change a bit of strategy, but don't allow the no affect you personally. That's related to your self-worth, or that's where the danger is. And if this happens, then work on that piece, because
I brought the examples to personally to us. I mean, to me, to people, because these kind of situations we also face in our, on a daily basis. For example, in relationships, you are trying to insist, on something because I want to be positive. I want to think this may work out for the both of us. No, maybe this is not going to work. So switch your mind and try something else with someone else, And to be able to do it, you have to be very well internally. Yeah. Very well with yourself.
Yeah. So again, we're coming back to the piece of, what is your opinion about yourself? What are you, you're believing yourself, loving yourself. By loving yourself and accepting yourself, I mean, you are fine with whatever story you have there.
Exactly.
And all the negative parts, or the one that you consider are negative. And you love yourself regardless of you are having a bad day, not being perfect, not managing, didn't achieve yet what you wanted to achieve. And you are still loving yourself, accepting no matter of those situations, no matter of all the imperfection, right? That's the key, because then if you have this, then you will approach also people differently, right? So you won't be afraid that this person will not love you or accept you for who you are, because you are already doing this. So I believe that that's a very important piece,
Exactly,
So
yeah. At the end of the day, it's all in us. Yeah. Everything, the power of yes and no, it's within us, right?
Yeah. So it's this. When I look at my journey going back, I would say that building the most important relationship in my life with me was the key to everything, and it's still here today. And like I said, of course I have still challenges, and I did not yet achieve all of my goals. I have, and once I achieve one, I'm putting the new one. So it's not about achieving a goal, really.
Yeah.
Because the moment you achieve a goal, you're looking already about the next one.
Exactly.
It's like, with
our nature. This is our nature.
With the running, right? I have this half marathon. Yeah. Now I put a goal to run marathon.
Now you run like 20 kilometers, right? Not 5 anymore.
But the thing is that the moment I achieve the half marathon, I'm like, okay, this is great. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of myself. But now I want a new one. So the thing is, it's not about achieving the goal. It's the process, it's really the process. And you wanted to make sure that every single day you are good with yourself. You're feeling, it's not you feeling every day perfectly positive. You are good to yourself every day.
Yeah.
Meaning you are loving yourself or accepting, or you are nice to yourself, even if you are not feeling good.
Yeah.
So you can have this moment. Okay, fine. Today I'm laying on the sofa and maybe having, my down moment, but I'm not giving up on the things. I'm just allowing myself for this to happen. Maybe I do some work around it, and then I'm, continuing.
Yeah. The thing is, I find it difficult. Why? I will go back to the standards, society standards, and backgrounds and culture, etc. I'll give myself as an example. I will expose myself here, but whatever.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm a Black and African girl. With 30 years old plus. I will not say how old I am here. And there are certain things that my family, my culture, expect me to achieve already, and I haven't achieved it. And I'm not angry because at them because they want me to have certain things that I already don't have it, because I'm already formatted to think that they are right,
Yeah, you believe
so
that
it's my
that's the truth.
fault. Yeah, so it's my fault if if I didn't achieve the things they expected me to achieve by now. If they are angry or pressuring me, somehow I just don't feel angry at them. When people ask me if I have children already, if I am married or not, why. Some people take it very seriously and they're like, oh, it's my life, I should live it the way I feel like it's right for me. I don't feel good to give this kind of answer to people, because at the end of the day, to them, they're just looking, for my own good. They think if I have children and a husband, I'm a happier person,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
That's their
get mad.
belief, yeah.
That's their belief. I don't get mad at them. But I get mad at myself for not achieving these things yet, because these things bring me down sometimes, It doesn't depend on me. People say, because you're choosing too much, you're waiting for so long, why? Some might even think that I'm focusing so much on my professional life, which I am, because it's the only thing that is on my control. It's the only thing that I think it's on my hands, The only thing I think I can realize by myself. The rest, I depend, on other people. To have children, I depend on a partner. To have a partner, I depend on other people looking at me as a potential partner as well.
Life.
Yeah.
We have a different solutions today. That you might actually discover that you have more control here too. But let's not go maybe there.
Yeah, I mean, these things bring me down. I mean, recently, in the past years, not really, but for a year or two, I don't know if it has to do with me being away of my family, my country, my environment. But these kind of things bring me down. So how do I switch my mind to positive thinking and not let these things affect me that much?
Yeah. So
Because this is like a cultural thing. It's rooted in me, It's very hard to disconnect my beliefs.
Yeah. So
from
look,
this
it's
mindset.
Yeah, I completely understand, and I have been there too. With the stories that, like I say, you say you are not angry at the people telling you this, and that's fine, because like you say that this is their belief. They believe that if I will have, I don't know, children, family, and act in a certain way and achieve certain things, I will be happy. And then you say you're not angry on them, but you're angry at yourself.
Yeah.
You're angry at yourself because you actually believe that that's true.
Yes.
And that's the piece. You're like, yes, so this is the environment. Those beliefs are coming from this environment. And, maybe I'm not angry at them. Like, I understand from where they're coming from. But the main piece is that you believed it, that you really have to, you took this as a true. And the moment you believe that, then you are punishing yourself for not achieving this. They don't need to punish you. They whatever they talk, they can talk, and it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, because you are already there for yourself, telling yourself that that's the only way. So you're not even looking at what if other things make me happy, or like what does make me happy, and like you are just there in this pressure of this strong belief that that's the way you should be and how you should be. This is where the work is. It's not happening again in a one, moment and one day. But the moment you, like I say, you work, for example, with someone and you start to look piece by piece, you can, first of all, you understand where the things are coming from. Second, you get to the awareness that, you can change it. You can really change it. You can work on it. You can start to work on a different belief system. Like, if somebody install a belief system in you, you can reinstall it and install a new one. That's really something what we can do. And I did it in so many cases in my life. like literally, I was like, let me test it, I'm just going to work on this one specific belief and I'm going to change it. But, there was a process of, I believe the awareness was a key, to really understand where this is coming from, how is it connected, and that I can, change and see okay, what about if I start to believe something else? At the beginning. So again, you're taking the small steps. it's difficult from that point to switch to the point like, oh, I'm fully happy with where I am and with who I am right now, and I'm not believing this anymore. It's very difficult because you have been believing this for all your life, right?
Yeah.
But once you start to implement a certain exercises and tools and, work on it step by step, you will really notice very fast. Fortunately, you don't need to spend another 30 years and plus of changing those beliefs. You can actually change them very fast.
Yeah.
That's a good news. Because some people, they also think like, oh my God, I've been carrying this for 40 years and now what? 40 years I will be like rewriting it? No, it can actually take very fast time. But that's what I will, tell you. Like you said, it's difficult. Yes, of course, it's difficult because you are actually believing it,
Yeah.
So the work is on changing the belief and seeing yourself differently, And that's where the piece is,
And again, the power is in our mind.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
it's on how we have to control it.
Yes. And really, again,
it's actually in our hands.
It is, and we should be happy about it. Many people are...
It's a privilege, yeah.
But you see, people also get into the trap of... we might even get used to that. We put the fault or the responsibility on the external situation and other people.
Yeah.
Now, the moment we started to realize that the power is in us, we have to take the responsibility for it. Not everybody will like that.
Yeah, of course.
But, at the end
no one wants to take the blame.
The blame. But then again, don't criticize yourself for the things you have done till now, because that was the only things you knew so far.
Yeah.
The moment you start to have awareness that there's a different way, again, don't criticize yourself for what happened so far. Start to learn how to observe whatever is there that you and learn how to change it. Work from that step by step. Once again, coming back to running, half kilometer, 1 kilometer. What I mean when working on changing your mindset and your belief system,
Yeah.
You don't like when I look at the 10 years of the journey, there is like, I see those moments when I work very deeply on whatever, belief or fears I have there. And suddenly I work on them and they, they shift, they change. And, like magic happened in my life and, things started to flow and I started to do certain things and a bigger, project and, etc. And then suddenly when I went to this next level, that was a new situation for me. And some of the fears or some of the limiting beliefs, they kind of came back, but on this other level now,
Yeah.
They were not that strong anymore, but there was still some layer there for me to look,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I thought actually I got rid of this one, but that's interesting. It's actually even, there's an extra piece there. Oh, and there's a story I took from, I don't know, from somebody from my family,
And how do you remove this layer? With the time?
Yeah, well, usually when you already know how it's working, that it's happening much more faster, Okay. So the moment you catch what is the belief, I have different tools. I talk to someone. I always, that helps me a lot when I say it out loud. It's not only of having someone for me in my life who will give me the feedback, but just because I will say it out loud, it's already a power there, and it's helping me to even for myself to, okay, I just say it and now I see what what is there. So that's one piece. But anyway, the conversation with someone I can, trust to share whatever I'm going through, the emotions or the feelings. And then I have different tools, there's a certain morning routines, a certain rewriting the beliefs really, like rewriting them. Instead of keep telling yourself a negative thing, I start to tell the positive one, right?
Yeah.
But you need to catch it, you need to see that, oh yeah, like I'm criticizing myself now. Why I'm criticizing myself again? And then meditation, exercises, going to the nature, and all of those things together, so that there are many different tools that helps you to move through the process faster.
Yeah, you also taught me about one other tool. When we had our first session, you told me about, writing my whole life story. Oh,
you mean the letter to yourself?
Yeah, to write a letter to myself.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this because you said it's always good to speak out loud, what we are going through to other people we trust. But
Yeah.
let's say you don't have someone that you trust
Right.
at the current, then you just write that
Writing
letter
is
to
one
yourself.
of the things. Writing, it's also a very powerful tool that I use. Today, it helps me really. It's the journaling that you can write the positive things. So there's I believe that few steps of how powerful our thoughts can be. We can think about something. It's different when we also write, and it's different when we say out loud.
Okay.
So we give really a power to it. And the most powerful one is when we actually say it out loud with the energy behind, especially the positive one, right? So we connect with the energy there. But in general, writing, let's say there is someone who hurt you, there's a story there, whether personal or professional one. And or you don't want to talk to that person, or you don't have opportunity to talk to that person, whatever is there. But there's all of those emotions sitting inside you. Write it down. Write it down for yourself. Write it a letter, to this person or to yourself. Whatever you sit down and write those. This is a tool itself, and then you don't have to send the letter.
Yeah, of course.
But you just put this out there. In your own space, nobody need to hear about it. And you can sit there and you can cry and you can scream and you can get very angry, whatever you feel there,
Yeah.
Just
It's
allow yourself.
therapeutic. Yeah.
Just allow yourself. If you really don't have anyone to, to talk to, but even if you do, those are still, when I'm supporting people through the sessions, I also gave them exercises like this. And for some, this is their tool. It's working very, greatly for them. For another will be maybe some body exercising, because that's also for some people, our emotions are in our body too, so there's a certain way that you can release some emotions and fears and stress through the body movement.
Yeah.
Or calming down your mind through the, meditation also, so there is really different things. But I believe that, first of all, you don't need to implement all of them right away, because then you also give yourself too much pressure of, now I have to do all of them.
Yeah.
That's not the way. And it's really nice to still have this person to talk to. But if you don't, just, again, half kilometer, meaning today I'm sitting there for 3 minutes, try to meditate, then I'm writing down some positive things to myself, and I start to say these positive things to myself, regardless of whether I see it's working or not. But I start to say different things to myself.
Yeah.
Because when you give the example of, the environment, and you believe that, and that's what this is your story, your own story happening in your own mind right now. Start to rewrite the story.
Yeah.
And really, sentence by sentence, not half marathon right now.
Yeah.
I know, it's a good example.
Good topics, yeah. Anything else you would like to share, Magdalena? Because I think I'm running out of questions now.
I think we've
been through a lot.
We've been through
today.
a lot. Thank you so much for this conversation. I mean, the topic, it's we can discuss a lot about it. The only thing I would like to say, really, for the people to believe that they have everything what they need.
Yeah.
And to be nice and good to yourself in whatever situation you are. There are no rules. Really, there are no rules of where you should be, how you should act, whether this is the positive, this is the negative, if you have, achieved this and that yet or not. No, forget about those rules. Start to really taking care of yourself, and if there's something that you struggle, and there's you have a space that you can reach out someone to talk about it, do it, because you will see a different perspective of yourself and on your life, and you will. That's the piece that I'm also saying to the people. That was my story. I have lifted myself up through somebody else's eyes.
Okay.
That's what I do, because I see potential in everyone. I have no doubts, no a single, moment of doubt of somebody's, what they can achieve, the potential, who they are, how beautiful, amazing they are with whatever the story they have. So if I see this in them and they work with me, or you have someone like this in your life, you can lift yourself up and build whatever you need to build up, or remind yourself the self-confidence, the love, whatever you need there. First by, through this person eyes, So that's something really worth it to do. And yes, step by step, really small steps.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we grow.
Small steps. And
You gave the example of a baby,
Yeah.
Did you use it?
The example of the baby?
How we grow, like, no, I'm confusing things here. I don't know. I think there was some part that
You mean with our previous conversation? I can't remember now.
I can't remember right now, but I think I have this baby steps example. Like when the babies are born, they don't start walk straight away.
Yeah, but that's that's true. But I like another example. So one time my mentor gave me this example when I was like stressing myself about that I have to do the things like right away, like the project,
Yeah,
and that's
fast
and everything. That's the a bit of trap of the mindset. We think about whether this is a personal development journey, or whether there's a project, or whether there's some change we're going through. Our mind starts to think about everything in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So we like analyze all of the pieces, or all of the pieces are there of what are the things we have to do, and we are thinking we have to like do them right now today. That's what's the mindset it's creating, So when I'm looking at the project, let's say it's a huge project, I have so many things to do in this project.
Mm-hmm.
I see the picture, there's all of those things I have to do, but then I'm come back to today, and I'm focusing only on a small piece that I can do today. So and then tomorrow, and then after tomorrow.
Yeah.
So with my head and with my mind, I'm not all the time 24 hours about everything that I have to do. That's, when it's come to running, when it's come to the personal development, process, right? You say, I want to love myself. I'm not loving myself still, I mean, like, it's like you are putting this pressure. So the mentor one time, my mentor, he gave me this example of this, imagining a garden, after the winter time. There was this, guy who was like, winter finished, spring start. He's going to the garden. He was going to clean the garden to prepare for the spring.
Exactly.
And he, entered the garden and he looked at everything and he just see, after the winter, the mess, the trees, broke, so much to do. And he's like looking at all of it. I'm like, no, I cannot do it today. I'm leaving this back, home. Next day, again, he's coming and again, he's looking at all of it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, it's like so much work to do, like how I supposed to do it? It's like too much. Okay, he back home again, on the third day and the fourth day. The same story. He keep coming back home because he's looking at the whole garden that, so much things need to be done before actually, the spring. Finally, on the fifth day, he's not looking at the whole garden anymore. He just only look at the first little square, one corner. Let me clean this one.
Yeah.
The weeds and whatever is there. And the next day, after a couple of days or weeks, the garden was ready.
Yeah.
I love this story because I
I
remember
love it too.
I was there, and I remember my mentor was like, you are constantly thinking about everything that need to be done. But there's no way you can do all of those things in one day.
At once, yeah.
It's just your mind. It's creating a trick for you.
Yeah.
What it's making, it's again, you are criticizing yourself and you're like, oh, you are thinking it's too much. You're not going to achieve it. There's all of this talk. So you go home, you give up, you don't try. You know? So when you think about the Africa Global Business, summit or something, I'm like, come on, it's a huge project. I say, yeah, but I'm not thinking about it that it's huge every single day.
Yeah. Because each day you achieve something, yeah.
The moment I start to think about all possible scenarios, challenges, the things can go wrong, the people I have to, the things that have to be done, and if I will put myself in the emotions of this, I will not move on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's again the mindset. So baby steps in the way.
Our mind is tricky as well.
And the very interesting part is that, again, with the running or whether with the project, is that once we let go this piece that we're like putting ourselves to achieve everything like now, we will be so surprised how fast we can achieve things. Faster than we thought.
Yeah.
Just because we let go of the pressure on ourselves that we have to, we should, and we are stop punishing ourselves that maybe today I had a bit lower day, so today I did a bit less than yesterday. But that doesn't mean that, I'm
a loser.
I'm a loser or in general, and I'm not giving up because tomorrow I will do more. The moment you allow yourself for those lower days, you give yourself strength for the next day to do double.
Exactly. Wow.
That's so powerful that I experienced again in the running. The moment I started to let go that I have to run 5 kilometers, I ran 10 very quickly. Because I was because there were days and still are days today that I'm like, okay, 3 kilometers, I can't run anymore. I'm just too tired today. Let me walk. Let me sit on the bench and, meditate or do something else.
Yeah.
And the next day I run 10.
Wow.
Because I didn't punish myself for not, achieving the goal.
Yeah.
So you don't giving up. You are there with your goal, which, that this is important. You wanted to do it. But there are those moments where you're like, okay, today, it's a bit lower. Fine. Let me pick it up tomorrow.
Oh, today I'm feeling lazy. I'm not doing. It's okay as well.
You know what? For me, the moment I allow myself to rest, without, punishment that I should, I shouldn't. I really rest. I give myself my time. The job I do after this, it's double or triple.
Of course, yeah.
And we all have this.
Yeah.
If we really think about it, all of us have this experience. So.
The thing is just how we perceive it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where.
But then
the trick is.
Just to add at the end, because this is, we can continue, like I say, all the time. But the trick is because we are hearing from outside that, you have to every single day wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, do this, then do that. And then the moment you have the day that it's low, you think that you are the only one who are having the low days.
Yeah.
And then you're like a failure. It's not true. No.
Our mind. Yeah. The power is in the mind, in our mind, yeah.
Yeah, change the focus, change the perspective, really. And
exactly. Yeah. Wow. Very inspiring conversation.
Thank you.
It was a class, you gave us, and a mentoring, a coaching, session already.
Well, I really hope that some people can get inspired by this.
Yeah, I think they will. Anyways, anything else?
I think we're good here. We really cover a lot, and just only to add at the end that, of course, if somebody would like to
contact you,
to contact me, they can do it through the social media, right? And I think you will share it.
Yeah, we'll have it in here. Yeah.
Yes, through social media. Yes, and some emails, and can always discuss if somebody would like to cooperate with whether coaching, mentorship, or consultation, maybe also in the business.
Can we also share your phone number? I don't know. I think you had here your
I think so. Yeah, on the WhatsApp.
It's sometimes it's easier.
To send a WhatsApp message. It's anywhere there. I think on the website. So that's of course it's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Magdalena. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, there was a different topic than we usually than the things we usually talk about, but really, really useful, and I'm sure it's gonna help a lot of people who are going through a moment right now. So
it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for the invitation, and very soon I hope to visit Angola.
And I hope to see you soon. I mean, anytime soon here, we can arrange a program, a session program with the people.
Yes,
we can arrange something like that.
Yes, definitely. It's a good idea. I would like that. Yeah. We'll discuss it behind the scenes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Magdalena.
Thank you. Okay. Pleasure.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Please like, subscribe, and what else? Yeah, that's all. Like and subscribe and comment.
Sure.
Give us suggestion on the topics we should create for the next episodes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. It was a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Magdalena.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys, you'll love it. It was a very inspiring conversation. So I hope you like it.
Yeah, it was a great one.